My dear boys and girls, welcome back again to your favorite astrology channel, and which is Jupiman Astrology. And today in this video, we're gonna talk about billionaire spouse, trillionaire spouse, or like millionaire spouse. Like, we will talk about who will get actually rich spouse. Lot of you guys are requesting me to create videos on this topic, like the rich spouse astrology, who will get rich spouse yoga in your kundli or in your chart. So today in this video we will see that in your chart what are the combination that show that yes, person will get rich spouse. Okay, so if you want to see that, like if you get a rich husband or you get a rich wife, then you must have to watch this full video, because if you miss any part of this video, then there will be problem. Okay, because this video should be watched complete, right guys? Now guys, see, to see the rich spouse we have to see a lot of things. So in today's video I will try to cover at least some important general things that you can see by yourself in your chart, by which you get at least some indication that yes, in your chart there are some chances that the person you will marry will be, you know, kind of a rich, or I can say actually rich means financially he or she will be good condition from you. Okay, so if you are a male, then you can watch this video for your wife. If you are a female, then you can watch this video for your husband. Now guys, before moving forward, I would like to tell you that you can just take personal consultation from us. Now we have created website. You can go to the website and directly purchase the consultation from there, as you can see on the screen. Okay, now without wasting any more time, let's get started. Now guys, basically we have to see a lot of houses for seeing the rich spouse kind of thing. First thing is 11th house. 11th house represent your profits, achievement, your elder brothers, elder sister, and a lot of things. But the most important thing that 11th house represent is your gains, is your income, right? The incoming gains that you have. It is represented by 11th house. Then the next house that we have to see is the second house. Why? Because second house again represent a lot of things, like second house represent our family, it represent our voice, it represent our tongue, it it represent our speech, neighbor, and a lot of things. But the most important thing second house represent is, everything is although important, but according to this video, the most important thing that second house represent for rich spouse is your accumulated wealth. It is your savings. Second house is your accumulated wealth of your life, right? So you have to see second house. Then we have to see obviously the seventh house, because seventh house along with all those representation represent your spouse. Okay, your husband or wife according to your chart. Then we have to see the 8th house. Why? Now this is important, because 8th house is second from the 7th house, right? And 8th house is the gains from the in-laws, the kind of gains that you get from the in-laws. It's being seen in the 8th house. By just observation of your 8th house, we see that. Now there is one more house that we have to pay attention, and that is the 5th house, because 5th house is called to be as Lakshmi Sthana, and Lakshmi is the goddess of wealth in Hinduism, and basically Vedic astrology is the Hindu astrology. So that's why 5th house is the house of, like, the goddess of wealth, Lakshmi. That's why it's called to be as Lakshmi Sthana. Also we have to see sometime 9th house also, because now 9th house is the house of your luck also. Okay guys, so generally we have to see all these houses for seeing the richest spouses. Now let's see different combinations for your rich spouse kind of thing. First thing is, when 11th lord is placed in your 7th house, then there are chances that the person you will marry, your husband or wife, will be rich, right? That means rich means like he or she will be from, yeah, in money wise, he or she will be from good dignity than you, right? Because 11th house is the house of gain and 7th house is your spouse, so it means gains from your spouse, right? These things are seen. Then again, if your 11th house lord is placed in the 7th house, then again same things. Whether your 7th house lord is placed in the 11th house, or your 11th house lord is placed in the 7th house in good dignity, obviously, it means that the person you will marry will be like, you will get a rich spouse kind of thing, you can understand. Okay, Now guys, I'm again adding that we need to see a lot of like aspect, like there may be some planet conjunct, like there may be some planet aspecting this placement, so we need to analyze all that, but generally these things are seen. Okay, now next thing you can see, if 11th lord and 7th lord. Okay, now next thing you can see also good is when 11th lord is placed in the 7th house and 7th lord is placed in the 11th house, it is the parivartana. Okay, I have discussed till now three combination. First one is 11th lord in 7th house, second one is 7th lord in 11th house. Now the third one is that 11th lord in 7th, 7th in 11th, like a mutual like parivartan yoga between 11th and 7th house. So these are the yoga that show rich spouse. Okay, apart from that, these, if 11th lord and 7th lord are conjunct in your horoscope, this again show that yes, person can have like rich spouse yogas. Okay, now let's move on to our next yoga. Now as you know, the second house is the house of your accumulated wealth. If second lord is placed in the 7th house, this again show that yes, person can have a rich spouse. Then after that, if 7th lord is placed in the second house, then again it show yes, the person can have rich spouse. Then again, any parivartan yoga between second lord and 7th lord, that is like the mutual exchange between 7th and second, like the 7th lord is placed in the second house and second lord is placed in the 7th house, so it's like a stronger combination because both are like in parivartan, like the higher chances of getting a rich spouse. Then again, if anywhere in horoscope second lord and 7th lord are conjunct, again it increases the chances of marrying someone who is from a like a rich person, rich spouse. Okay guys, so these things are generally seen for the rich spouse. Apart from these, there are also other combinations also. So like for an example, if second lord and 11th lord, right now I'm discussing about second lord, which is your accumulated wealth, and the 11th lord, which is your gains, incoming gains. When both are connected, both are placed like in conjunction in the 7th house, so it's like a dhan yoga through spouse, right? Because any connection between second house and 11th house shows a dhan yoga. When both second lord and 11th lord are in conjunction in the 7th house, this shows really a great, those big very rich, super duper rich spouse kind of thing. Okay guys, these things are seen. Now also when second lord and 7th lord are conjunct in 11th house, it again shows that yes, this person can have again a rich spouse. After this, 11th lord and the 7th lord in conjunction with the second lord. Okay, 11th lord and the 7th lord in conjunction with the second lord can also show that the person can have a rich spouse. Okay guys, so right now we have discussed all these combination that can show that yes, person can have a rich spouse. Again, I am adding that we need to see all those aspect, conjunction, etc, but these are the general combination that you can see in your chart to analyze that yes, I have at least some chances for like rich spouse. Now guys, 8th house is second from the 7th house, as I already told you. So it is like the accumulated wealth of your spouse because it's the second from your 7th. Okay, so it's like the second house of your spouse, your 8th house. Your 8th house is the second house of your spouse. Now if the good planets aspects your 8th house, then it shows that you will have gains from your in-laws, like your spouse family, gains from your spouse families seen when the benefics like the good planets aspect your 8th house. Okay guys, so let's say for an example, Venus is placed in your second house. So if Venus is placed in your second house, so it aspects your 8th house. So which shows what? Which shows that uh, like which shows that like you will get money from your in-laws, like, or your in-laws will be like rich. These things are seen obviously when benefic aspect the 8th house. Obviously they should be in good dignity and all those kind of things must be important, but generally I am talking about. Now guys, in some cases it is also seen that when 5th lord and 8th lord are in uh, you know good dignity, and there is a parivartana between fifth and eighth lord, that is fifth lord is placed in the eighth house and eighth lord is placed in the fifth house in good dignity, then it also shows a rich spouse. Yes, when fifth in eighth, eighth in fifth is also show a rich spouse in some cases. Also guys, you have to keep that in mind that in females chart Jupiter represent your husband, okay, and in males chart Venus is your wife. So apart from all these combination, you have to make sure that if you are a male, then for seeing your rich wife you must have to analyze Venus also separately, because that is the most important planet for you. Now if you are a female, then apart from all these yoga, you have to keep strong, you have to pay strong attention towards Jupiter also, because that is the most important planet for you, right? So guys, these are the yogas basically that you can see in your chart generally to see the rich spouse, okay. Obviously apart from them you can also have different yogas, but these are the yogas that you have to see in your D1 chart, right? Also we have to, you can go further for real like nakshatra and all these kind of thing, and then Navamsha chart, but these yogas you have to analyze in your D1 chart, okay. And guys, so this is all about the rich spouse yogas that you can see, that yes, if you these yogas are present, then there are high chances that the person you will marry will be a rich spouse, okay. A rich means that he or she will be in, you know, a comparison to you, their financial condition will be, you know, good. So that's what I was talking about. So